What is going on, you guys, and welcome back. So, I know it's been a little while. It's been almost 2 weeks since my last video, and I apologize for that. Life just got busy, got very hectic. I was kind of getting a little burnt out, not gonna lie. There's just a lot going on. And as you can probably see from the title, I did sell a car. I sold the 2013 Hemi Dodge Charger. Aww. I'm not happy about it. I loved that car. I loved the way it looked. I loved driving it. I liked having a practical four-door sedan, but there were two main reasons that I got rid of it. First being, used car prices are so high right now. It felt like it was the smart thing financially to do, whereas I'm a YouTuber. I don't make a lot of money. The smart thing to do if the car wasn't doing as good views-wise to create content with, because that's what I bought the cars to do, if that's not bringing in views and bringing in money, then it's just costing money. And when you're a small YouTuber like me, margins are thin. So it felt like the right thing to do. It was the perfect time to sell. And the other reason I sold it was because it was kind of hard to create content with the Vette, with the Jeep, with the Charger, with the Camaro that I wanted to kind of make more content with, but still haven't been able to find the time or content ideas to do with. So I had too many cars and the content was spread too thin. I didn't like that. So the car sold last week or 2 weeks ago at this point, off to its new owner in Vermont. The funny thing is, this is the second Dodge Charger that I had that's ended up in Vermont. Two of them were first cars for kids. They were these kids' first cars. One ended up way in Western Mass, and two went to Vermont. I just thought that was kind of odd, kind of interesting. So again, I'm not happy that it's gone. I loved that car. Having those three Chargers was a huge, saga in the channel. That was a giant step for me. That was my first, damn mosquitoes, get off of me. That was my first experience at auction, and it was one of my most successful car flips I ever did. I learned a lot from it. I had a lot of fun, but it was time. But what that does mean is that we now have a lot more time and money to play with, you guessed it, the C5. Now to get back up on the C5 saga, as you guys know, we got new tires on the Vette. Man, those wheels are nasty. I cannot wait to change out those brakes. That's just, ugh. But anyways, new tires are on the Vette, new Continental Pro Contact, Extreme Contact. I still can't get the name right, but we got those on. And then last week, we dropped the C5 off to pick up my dad's C6 that was getting in alignment, drove the C6 back, left the C5 there, and then we picked up the C5 fully aligned on its new tires. Now, what's next for the Vette performance-wise, I'm still trying to get an exhaust for it, just not an exhaust, but mufflers. I was kind of torn between Corsa Extreme and an adjustable Valvetronic system. I should have an answer with which system I'm going with in the next week or two. And I'm excited to get it on because I have put so many miles on the Vette in the last few weeks. I've put like 2,000 or 3,000 miles on this thing, and not just like around town. I've taken this thing on some pretty long drives and just been enjoying the hell out of it. This car just, I love it. It's amazing, but it is loud on the highway. The drone gets to you. I really can't hear anything at all. But again, exhaust, that's coming in the near future. Right now, we're just doing some little tidbits and stuff that I've wanted to get done for a while that I'm finally getting around to doing. And this project we're doing today is not supposed to be very difficult. Keyword being not supposed to. So we're gonna pull the C5 in the garage so my neighbors can't watch me talking to a camera, and I'll show you what's going on. So for the past year and a half or so, I've had this Uniden R3 radar detector. Now this thing has saved me more times than you can imagine. It's paid for itself like 850 times over in just a year. It's absolutely fantastic. It cost me about $300 when I bought it. Actually, just under $300, I believe. And I'll include a link for it down in the description below if you if you're interested, which you should be, because it's absolutely worth every single penny. I spent the longest time not having one of these. I got in trouble. I should have just bought one of these in the first place. You don't wait like I did. But anyways, the problem with this radar detector in the C5 Corvette is here are the locations of your cigarette lighters. You have one down here, and then you have another one in your center console here. Don't mind the cologne, mind your business.
GPS connected.
Thank you. Anyways, the other cigarette lighter is down here. Coincidentally, mine in here doesn't work right now. I don't know why. Let me shut that off so it doesn't use up power. But anyways, the problem with having the cord hang down right here is when it's plugged in and you're trying to shift, it's kind of in the way. And if you go to grab the shifter, you might grab this with, like I've done, and you pull the thing right off the mount, and it's just a big mess. I don't necessarily hate having this cable hang down here. Like if the power outlet was over here, I'd probably just keep it like that and just leave it. But because it's so close to the shifter, like right there, I go to grab the shifter and you accidentally grab that. It's not pretty. So in the vet today, we're gonna be installing one of these. It's a Hardwire kit. Now there are a million different companies that sell these. I got the one called Gold Label Radar Detector Mirror Hardwire Kit. Again, there's tons and tons of companies that make these things. This one just got the best ratings from what I read. They're very inexpensive. They're supposed to be very easy to install. I'm an idiot though. The main thing you want to know is that it fits the radar detector that you have. So this one does fit the Uniden R3 radar detector that I have. So this is the one we're going to be installing or attempting to install. Now this should be a pretty similar setup in most cars. Now in my C5 anyways, in this specific application, I have the auto dimming mirror or electrochromatic mirror, I think they call it. It's included in an options package in the C5 and mine has it. Notice there's no thing that you flick down if someone's, shining their high beams. So our first step actually, well, before we get into the nitty gritty stuff, we're gonna take the radar detector down, unplug it, get it out of the way, just like that. Now we have to remove the wiring harness that goes to the back of the mirror. Now the problem is you can't turn this mirror enough to see what you're doing back there. So I'm gonna get a flathead screwdriver. I know the opening is up here. I'm gonna try to press down on, I believe there's a tab in there, and pull this harness out so I can start to mess with the wiring. All right, so I got the wiring harness to come out. I tried messing with it, couldn't get it. Then I went to try to figure out how to get the rear view mirror off. And after the fear of cracking the windshield got to me, I decided it was easier to just try to remove the wiring harness again. And we finally got it out. So all I had to do was take a flathead screwdriver, get it back there, and push down on the tab. Right here you can see, and it slides out. So now we have to figure out what wires we need to push these little pin things in there into. Now, from what I read, brown, which I guess that is brown at the end, brown is switched, black is your ground. Now, something to keep in mind here, the years may differ with what color wires are where, and stuff also may be different if you have an electrochromatic, or an auto-dimming mirror as opposed to just a standard rear view mirror. It was kind of hard to find wiring diagrams for this. I did find someone on a Corvette forum that said brown was the switched power wire and black was ground. So now basically all we have to do is plug these in, I think. A bit difficult with one hand. And according to the instructions, which I rarely read, basically they want you to decide if you're going to use the larger or the smaller of the pins. You can see 2 different sizes for each, and then they give you these little caps to cap off whichever ones you don't use. And on this, it looks like it's going to need to be the smaller pins. So right now I'm going to line up, there's the brown wire right there, I'm going to line that up with the smaller red wire that I have here, and then plug the smaller black wire in to the corresponding slot there. Plug them in from the back so that you can still plug in the harness, obviously. we're done. That was way easier than, well, it said it was supposed to be easy. I'm just having trouble comprehending this. This project actually went how it was supposed to go. But anyways, the radar detector is all installed with its new hardwire right there to the mirror. I'm gonna, adjust this a little bit. This isn't really where the radar detector, I think, is gonna stay anyways. I think it has to be more towards the middle of the windshield. But my suction cup kept falling off, so it ended up in a different place on the windshield every time. But the install was quite literally that simple. Ooh, that doesn't look very pretty. I'm gonna have to clean that up a little bit. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. Maybe I don't know. I gotta figure out how to clean that up because that does not look very good right there. I don't like that. But the rest of it looks so, it's so clean. You adjust the mirror where it's supposed to be, put this more in the middle of the windshield, a little bit higher up, and I could probably loop this wire around the mirror stock a few times to shorten it up, and then you don't even know it's there. We can go ahead, grab our keys.
X-band, K-band, Ka-band, laser.
Awesome, it works. Now we have all the room in the world to shift. We don't have to worry about that cable being there. It's nice and open once again. Why do you always insist on interrupting me? Well, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. I didn't think it would be this short. I figured we'd run into some issue. Certainly would run into some problem, but we didn't. I'm going to adjust this later on, figure out how to shorten that the wire that goes from the mirror to the radar detector. Like I said, I think I'm just going to loop it around the mirror stock itself. But if you have really any car and have a radar detector and you want one of these Hardwire kits, I'll include a link for the one that I used that was phenomenal down in the description below. It included everything I needed, and it even gave you those little caps to cap off the 2 wires that you didn't use. It even gave you a short zip tie. I don't know where it went. Here it is. I don't know what this is for. Maybe I'll use it in some application here. Maybe not. But again, I'll include a link for both the radar detector that I have and the radar detector hardwire mirror kit down in the description below. Both of these are hands down absolutely worth it. No matter what you drive, odds are you're going over the speed limit. So very helpful to have. This thing has saved my ass so many times, and I don't like to spend money. So that was money completely well spent. Stay tuned, because again, there is more stuff. Next C5 video actually should be also something in the interior. So there's a little hint. And then, as I said, we're moving on to the exhaust and then maybe bigger things. I don't know. But you'll have to stay tuned and be subscribed to find out. But I'm sweating my ass off. I'm going to clean up my mess. The most fun part of these projects, even though this isn't much of a mess. Really, all I used was a flathead screwdriver. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy motoring.